Hello, my name is Jonathan Forster, and welcome to the Multi-Story Thinking Podcast. I'm an interior designer and educator. My job is to improve quality of life and productivity by helping people to create beautiful and practical spaces to live and work in. The Multi-Story Thinking Podcast takes an educational slant to the interior design world. So sit back, relax, as we help unravel the mysteries of interior design. Matt Lewis is the commercial manager at IVC Commercial, based in the UK. He forms a vital link between designers and the manufacturer and uses his product knowledge to help designers select and specify flooring. IVC have been manufacturing vinyl sheet, luxury vinyl tiles and carpet tiles from their Belgium factory for over 20 years. I met Matt in late 2019 following a Meet the Supplier session with my third year students at the University of Plymouth. In this episode, we discover how flooring products emulate real materials and the importance of understanding the economics of product selection, the flexibility and design potential of using patterns and colour, why it's important for students to get to know the products that they're designing with, and how playing around with some samples can help develop a final design.
Matt, thanks for coming down to Plymouth today. If you could just tell us a bit about your role and also a bit more about the company, IVC. Flooring, to a lot of people, particularly students, seems like an area that's hard to understand what the difference is between companies. So
Yeah.
tell us a bit more about how you sort of distinguish yourselves.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so thanks for having me down. It can be a complicated product on the face of it, and even working in amongst the product sometimes. It's a big product. There's lots of different kinds of flooring products. So we manufacture. So IVC is International Vinyl Company. So we're a Belgian manufacturer of mostly resilient flooring. So vinyl-based flooring, heterogeneous sheet vinyl, both domestic and commercial. So that's vinyl on a roll, 2, 3, and 4 meter rolls. So we supply that to the residential sector, social housing, student accommodation, domestic high street retailers will sell that product to the domestic customer for living areas as well. We manufacture LVT, which is luxury vinyl tile. So that's vinyl cut to plank and tile. Again, it's used in both the commercial and the residential sector. And we also have a carpet tile factory, so we make 100% solution dyed nylon carpet tiles for the commercial sector. So there's a lot, and I can understand why students might take a quick look at that and be perhaps a little bit daunted by delving into it.
Yeah, well, even as a designer myself, I find it a bit hard to get my head around the possibilities. When you down here, we've just been chatting to some of my students about a project you're going to help support with some ideas, and the samples that you brought down open their eyes really to the opportunities.
Yeah, and I think that it's been a really useful exercise to watch their process, actually. And I think I said to you earlier, I was quite impressed with their process of working through theory, working in the space, standing in the space, working with samples in the space, and trying to connect it to the brief and what's available to them. And that's where we come in. That's where reps, if you want to, we go by many different names: specification managers and business development managers, reps, whatever's on the business card at the time, I suppose. We should know more than you about our products, and we're a resource to be exploited to facilitate what you're trying to achieve, to deliver the brief that you've agreed upon with the client. So it's nice to be involved.
I think it certainly helps too. For the students to understand a bit more about how the product arrives, because they're just used to looking at the website where you just see a nice picture of a finished design and maybe a tile digital image, and actually seeing the product in their hands, it sort of jumps to life. And there's so many different types of products, and what interests me is the products that aren't oh, they look like other things, so you've got a vinyl tile that looks like wood, or you were showing me the terrazzo, which looks like terrazzo, amazingly enough. They're photographic prints, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. And we also perhaps touched on this a little bit, that there will be an element within the design community that a purist at heart won't look to an imitation product, because either the budget that they have to work with enables them to work with real wood or real terrazzo or polished concrete or slabs of stone, or whatever it may be. But in the commercial sector, we have to be a little bit more realistic. There are budgetary constraints, and yet, and along with the budgetary constraints, I should say, there are requirements of the flooring. There are demands on the flooring that mean they have to be resilient and easy to maintain. They may need to have acoustic properties. They will need to hit a budget, and they'll need to look good. And so that's where our products come in, really. That's where they earn their stripes, if you like.
So you're able to provide the aesthetic language at the budget that the consumer can afford.
That's right. And as the technology moves along, so does the quality of the products that you're able to offer. And at IVC we have we have an exceptional factory, cutting edge technology, which means we're right at the forefront of what we're making. And so you could put a piece of real wood next to one of our products, and maybe to the expert eye, you'd no doubt be able to tell the difference. But to the lay person, the actual end user, the people that traffic in the space, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. And so we can create the aesthetic, but for the right amount of money for the project, and with all the additional benefits of being, let's say, scratch resistant, or water resistant, all those kinds of things as well. Yeah.
And obviously you're specialised in flooring and have done for some time, but what's your kind of take on the importance of flooring as such within interior spaces?
Yeah, I mean, I forgive the bias, obviously, but it is an important aspect of a space. I mean, it's very often the largest single product in any given space. The flooring grounds the space. It's arguably the only product you absolutely have to come into contact with, and so it's important. It can be used it can be used subliminally and with a muted effect, so that you can design with more colour and more contrast, and with more design elements above the flooring, or the flooring can be the main attraction in and of itself. And that's part of what we were discussing with the students today. Do you go with a muted wood effect and design above the floor, or do you make the flooring stand out and be a design element all of its own? It was quite interesting to watch them fall to the second sort of theory, if you like, or the second way of thinking.
Well, it's refreshing to see, actually, because a lot of times you see flooring just blanketly laid in one colour, one material.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a potentially more dynamic element of the interior.
It can be, yes, certainly. And we're because of the material that we work with, we can create shapes and patterns. We can layer it with textures and colour. So there's a lot to work with. There's a lot to choose from. And again, it is easy to get lost in amongst that. So that's why we exist, is to try and help people, try and help guide people, walk them through what's available. Wood effect, concrete effects, they're probably the two staple go-to, a grey concrete or stone effect and a brown wood effect. Yeah. They're your two sort of benchmark standards where people will often start from.
What are the enjoyable moments then?
I enjoy being part of the decision process. I guess being able to add some value to the design process without actually having any formal design qualification or knowledge. Yeah. It's an interest. And as I've grown through this role over it's 15 years now, I think. You can become more interested because you spend time with people that are qualified and are working on interesting design schemes, and it kind of rubs off a bit, So where do we come in? Where do we add the value? Because you could just click on a website, get a sample, done. But we bring a bit of knowledge, we bring a bit of experience. There's ways we can help and it's just being part of that design process is where it is what I enjoy, and then seeing the finished scheme where ideally the specifier is happy and the client is happy, then I'm happy. That's my job done.
I think just
I'm happy
from
with that.
Just watching the way in which you operated today and your ability to assess a space and help refine the choice of flooring that's suitable for that area was really useful as a designer. When there's so much choice, having someone who can say, well, have you looked at this range? This is probably going to work here is really brilliant shortcut in terms of getting to the end of getting to a design solution.
Yeah, and especially for students, and I think it's really important for students. I think what you're doing is really good, because it won't be long before they're out into the real world. At which point they will have to really get to grips with the nuts and bolts of the industry of product, and although the conceptual theory-based knowledge they have is fundamental, of course, the other side to it is the economics and the product, the tangible aspect, which is, by giving them access to product at this stage, by giving them real briefs to work with real products, I think that's got to help them. I think it's important that that's done.
You've got loads and loads of products, and that's always evolving. How do you respond? Or do you respond to trends in the industry when you're developing new ranges? Or where's the inspiration, or where's the motivation to develop products and refine them? Come from?
Well, we have a really excellent product design team at the factories in Belgium. So they're drawing inspiration from lots of different areas. We have a big focus on sustainability. So we manufacture our products with clean energy and using recycled content in the products. That's a big subject in the sector, in the industry at the minute. It won't be just flooring, but obviously with a focus on flooring, that's a major concern for us. So we do everything we can to ensure that we're leading the way on sustainability. So that's a big focal point for the industry. Well-being in design seems to be the other big conversational talking point in design that seems to me to bridge across a number of sectors.
Do you ever think about how the flooring might contribute to more of those broader areas like well-being? How can the flooring help boost well-being or help boost performance, perhaps?
The products that you choose and the design scheme is really important, and it all speaks to well-being. Theories like biophilic design and biophilia, where we could supply, let's say, a wood effect flooring, or perhaps in an office space, sort of organic, patterned, possibly coloured flooring that affects mood, or has been shown to affect mood in a positive way. All those things about increasing productivity, and again, it's very subliminal, but the flooring certainly has a part to play, probably quite a large part to play, actually.
More than most designers can imagine, probably. Like you say, everywhere you look, like in the space we're in now, there's a floor, isn't there, beneath us? So
yeah, that's right. And more than the end user would probably appreciate it. I think it's we kind of know what we're doing. Designers will know what they're doing. We facilitate it by supplying products that enable them to create a space that speaks to the well-being of the end user. So in that regard, we definitely have products that can be used to good effect. And you'll see more of that coming through from manufacturers. It's something that we're very focused on, and yes, it will be informing the kinds of products that we design. Yeah, for sure.
Thanks to Matt for taking the time to talk to me. That was recorded before the lockdown, at the start of a project which was completed during lockdown to refurbish the ground floor of the Roland Levinsky building in Plymouth, where we used some of our third year design students to select and design the flooring, along with selection of materials and finishes around the design. And Matt's input on that, introducing the students to the products, was really pivotal in them getting an understanding of the potential and the opportunities of flooring design. And the project provided a great chance for them to be involved in a real live project. The design, which was created by student Jordan Chidke, was voted Installation of the Month in the Contract Flooring Journal recently, so we're very pleased with the results. The way in which Matt develops relationships with professionals in the industry to help them select and specify products has been really useful support mechanism, linking the conceptual design development to the implementation. And his product knowledge and understanding of the process is really useful in creating a streamlined process from start to finish. The Meet the Supplier sessions are part of the course content at the University of Plymouth, where we're teaching young people to become kick-ass designers. If you'd like to know more, have a look at the links in the notes. I'd like to thank Dave Clark from I Am The How for technical support and advice in the setting up of this podcast, Kay Hansen for her support and co-hosting role in these and the educational podcasts at the University of Plymouth, and Mark Frith for the music. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.
Thank you.